Greetings, all you very rare individuals. Welcome to another Afro-Scot podcast. This is episode 28, and we're going to talk about what African food is great. Origins of jollof rice. Now, this is a new topic. We're going to veer away from why Africa is great for a while, and we're going to focus on the food, because our food and cuisine is incredible. Now, there's many arguments as to where jollof rice originated from. Some people say Ghana, some people say Nigeria, some people say Senegal, some people say Gambia, some people even say South Africa. I mean, there's so many places that people say jollof rice originated from, and it's actually caused a lot of internet wars and arguments and debates. However, I believe that it actually came from somewhere in Africa, and through this podcast I'm gonna just talk about the whole history of jollof rice. Now, we all love jollof rice. It's something that we get at parties. Something that our mothers have cooked. It's something that we all hope we can cook. It's something that if we want to impress our friends or anybody coming in for dinner or lunch, we just put on and cook on, boil some jollof rice. And it's a really cool thing, jollof rice, because anytime I have any Scottish friend or anybody who's an African, I love to just watch them eat jollof rice, just seeing their face, and usually they love it because it's a really good dish and it tastes good, and it's really a good sign of why Africa is great and why our food is great. Jollof rice is said to have originated from the Wolof Empire, which was an empire during the 1300s to the 1500s and onwards, and one of the states in the Wolof Empire was Jollof, which later on became its own sort of capital, its own sort of place. And during the 1800s, when the colonialists came in and took over, of course, Senegal, there was a lady called Mbarga who was a chef during that time. And during that time, barley wasn't available, so she decided to look for rice instead. And then, jollof rice became a thing. That's what it became. And I believe that the merchants during the time, as one of the rivers around Senegal and Gambia was used for merchants from Portugal, they were bringing in Asian rice, which was actually the rice they were using for jollof rice, because the local rice at the time had a lot of stones in them, so it wasn't really that popular. At parties, jollof rice wasn't really used during the 60s and before, because local rice had a lot of stone in them. So people ate amala, pounded jam, and beans, stuff like that. That was kind of what people ate. So Asian rice was actually the thing that made jollof rice suitable to eat, because they got rid of all of the stones and things like that. And Uncle Ben rice as well was coming around that time as well, during the 1950s. There's actually a long history with it, with jollof rice. So it didn't really just come from Nigeria and Ghana and all these places, or even Senegal, because Asian rice is included in it. And what I'm really trying to get at is that instead of people really arguing about what country it came from, why not we just say it's African cuisine? Because to be honest, jollof rice wouldn't really be here if it wasn't for Asian rice, and for a huge amount of people involved who created a dish that all of us could enjoy. Even though it's Nigerian, or it's from Ghana, or it's from Senegal, that's not really the most important thing to me. The most important thing is that it's a food that represents us as Africans, and it's something that we can be proud about. The first time I had jollof rice, obviously my mother made it, and it's something that you kind of look forward to anytime you go to parties now, because my dad even said that when he was growing up, they didn't really eat jollof rice or even rice in general. They ate beans and pounded jam. That's what they ate, or palm and wine and things like that. That's what people had at the time. They don't really have rice. So rice is a fairly new thing in Nigeria. And even there was a book that was out at the time, which was called Kudeti's Book of Yoruba Cooking, which was an interesting book written in the 1930s, and it outlined how to boil jollof rice, how to create it as a cuisine for yourself. I found that to be really interesting. It really shows that our heritage has been there for a long time, way before colonialism or way before slavery. Our food is really a hallmark of how great we are. And this isn't the only thing that we made. Africans have incredible food and incredible cuisines that are tasty. I believe that as an African, instead of us worrying about where our food come from, we should just be proud that as Africans we create great food. And that is something that we should be proud of. I don't really like when Africans walk around with their head low and they don't want to express themselves because they're ashamed of who they are. But as you can see through this podcast, our food is great. And if our food is great, you must be great. And by understanding that our food is great, you are getting closer to becoming a full-fledged Afro-Scot.